Hi there, my name's Amy, and today we're going to talk about how to access your degree audit. So, the first place that you want to go is just the main Southeastern website, so seu.edu. And then up in the top right hand corner is a button that says Login. So, we'll click that, and this will take us to your student dashboard. So, you'll probably come here a lot, and there are a lot of things that you will access here. But where we want to go right now is JICS. So, we're going to click that icon. And then here, you would normally have to log in, but I've already done that. So you just log in. And then from this page, we're going to click Student. Then off to the left-hand side, we'll click Degree Audit Portlet. And then right here at the bottom, we're going to click View All Details. Now you only want to click this button once. It does take a minute for this to load, and it can be very tempting to try and click it multiple times to get it to go faster. But if you do that, it just gets really angry at you. And it says, you're trying to rush me. No, ma'am. So we're just going to wait for it to load. All right, here we go. So once that loads, you'll see a few things here. Now, before we click, we're going to end up clicking this grad report button here that will generate a PDF for us. But before we do that, you'll notice this recalculate student progress button. So we actually are going to just click that first, because this will ensure that the grad report we open in just a second is as updated as possible. The system updates every 5 to 10 minutes automatically, but if you just signed up for a class or something like that, then this would make sure that it is the most updated, most recent, absolutely possible. So once we've clicked that button, then we're going to click grad report. And this opens up a PDF for us of your specific degree audit. So this will tell you what classes you've taken, what classes you still need to take to finish your degree program. It will tell you, notice right here, it mentions your GPA. It tells you how many credit hours you've earned. And then also right here up top is an important section. It lists your advisors. So up here, the advisor listed is kind of your main point of contact for questions about classes, about your degree, about getting registered, all of those sort of things, or even about, am I on track for graduation? Anything in that kind of category. This person right here on top of your degree audit is the main person that you're going to want to ask those questions to. So you may see a couple of names here, but you'll kind of want to, you can go in order. So, your advisor one would probably be your first point of contact. And then after that, you can kind of work your way down the list if you have a couple of people mentioned there. All right, so after you notice all this information, then we're going to come down this page a little bit, and I'm going to talk about this code key right at the bottom of this first page. So the first thing you'll see here is this green check mark. And this green check mark you'll see next to any classes that you have completed successfully or any other requirements that have been met for your program. So for example, we see this literature class right here. There's a green check mark next to it because that class has been completed successfully. So you don't need to worry about that class anymore. You'll also see green check marks next to categories, such as this Arts of Communication category. All 3 classes that are needed for this section of the degree program have been completed successfully. So that's why we see the green check mark there. The other icon you might see is a red X. And if you see the red X, that just means you haven't taken the class yet. So it doesn't mean that you failed it necessarily or that you've done something wrong. It just means, hey, you still have to take this class. So you'll see that, for example, in this social science elective section right here. That means, hey, this example student, John Doe, still needs to take his social science elective class. Now, something I want to make note of here under that heading is how it says 3 hours needed, choose one of the following, Psych 2233 or SSCI 2233. So this is a great example of a place where you have options, but you don't have to take all of the options. So sometimes it can be a little confusing. You see 2 course codes here. So you may think, well, I need to take 2 classes, but that's not true. You just need to choose one of the following. You also see that here in the history and government, 3 hours needed, choose one of the following. So even though you see 5 different course codes here, that doesn't mean necessarily that you have to take all 5 of those classes. It just means you have to choose one of the 5 classes to be able to meet that requirement for your degree. So just pay attention to that, because that way you don't have to stress about taking more classes than you actually need. All right, the next icon you might see is a yellow circle. And if you see that, that means that there's a course in progress. So you would see this, yes, in the middle of a semester. If you're in the middle of a class, you would see a yellow circle next to it. Or even if you've just registered for a class. So even if the class hasn't necessarily started yet, but you're signed up to be in that class for a particular semester, then you should see this yellow circle next to that class title. All right, another thing you might see is a class in red text. So see how this class right here is in bright blue? If you see a class in this bright red, that means that that class has not been completed satisfactorily. So that means that you did do something maybe a little wrong. So you would see this if you've maybe failed a class or if you withdrew from a class. It just lets you know, hey, even though you've attempted this class or maybe you've actually taken this class at some point, you'll actually need to retake this class. So anything in red, just know that you still will need to take that class. And then anything in blue is transfer work. So again, we'll look at this literature class as an example. The fact that this class is in bright blue means that this class transferred over from another school. So we'll see, for example, right here, that this class came from Polk State College. So if you have a transfer class, then it would be in this bright blue. And also you would see the course code of that class at your other school here. And then off at the end of the title is what class that counts for at Southeastern. So what it transferred in as. And the cool thing about transfer work is that you'll notice how this class right here, it's in this literature elective category. So whenever you have transfer work that comes in, you should be able to see what it counts for in your program. So it should automatically kind of go into whatever category that it best fits. So again, for example, this class met the literature elective, so it came into that category automatically. Or even this government class, it came into this history and government section automatically because that was the requirement in the degree program that it best met. If you don't see transfer work in some of these kind of specific areas, then the place that it probably would be is down here at the bottom. So we're going to keep scrolling down. And down here at the bottom, there's this section called free electives. And if you have transfer classes that do not necessarily meet a specific requirement for your degree program, then it would fall under this free electives section. And that's not a lost cause because you're still getting credit for it and it's still counting towards your degree program. It's just not counting toward a specific class. So typically for a bachelor degree, you're going to need 33 credit hours of free electives. And for an associate, most of the time you're going to need 12 credit hours. So, like I said, even if it falls under this category, it's still going to benefit you and it's still going to help towards your degree. All right, something else that you'll notice here is at the bottom, we have how many hours are needed and how many hours have been earned. So the hours needed is how many credit hours the student needs to earn for this particular degree. So John Doe needs to earn 123 credit hours to be able to finish his program. And he's earned 56. So he needs to make sure that he earns 67 more credit hours to be able to complete this degree. And then you'll also notice GPA needed and earned. So to graduate with any degree at Southeastern, you need at least a 2.0. And John Doe's doing great because he has a 3.49, so he's looking just dandy. And then below that will be any notes from maybe your advisor or other staff members here at Southeastern. So if there's any changes made to your audit or your degree program or any adjustments made or anything like that, you would be able to see notes about that down here at the bottom of this audit. And this is a great tool, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, but this is a great way to know what classes have I taken and what do I still need to take. So if you're trying to decide, for a particular semester, what classes are best for you or what you even still need, or if you're curious, what transferred over as what if I went to a school before I came to Southeastern, this is the place you want to look. You want to look at your degree audit. So hopefully this is helpful and it has helped you navigate how exactly to get to your audit and to be able to interpret it a little bit and know where you're at in earning your degree.